water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
Previously on Avatar.
Even though I was born blind, I've never had a problem seeing. I see with earthbending.
Look here, Sugar Queen. I gave up everything I had so that I could teach Aang earthbending.
Well, look at this. Enemies and traitors, all working together.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Avatar Vlogs. This is episode 29, Bitter Work, and we got a dual plot going on with Aang starting his earthbending training with Toph, and Zuko resuming his firebending training with his uncle Iroh. So in plot A, Aang is very eager to start earthbending with Toph, but he finds he's actually not as adept at this as he initially thought. Unlike with waterbending, which he picked up incredibly easy, or even traces of firebending, which he picked up incredibly easily, he's not very inclined to earthbend very quickly. And part of that, as we find out, is because in a similar way to how fire is the opposite to water, earth is very much the opposite to air, not only in the fact that one is a gas and the other is a solid, but just in the philosophy of the elements. You know, the whole thing about airbending is it's very agile based. You know, you're coming at things from different angles. You have to be clever, and on top of that, just the nature of air, you're very free, you're spiritual, whereas with earth, you, as Toph puts very bluntly, there's no trick that's going to move a rock. You have to be one with the rock. You have to be a rock if you want to move a rock, and you have to face it head on. There's no trickety trick that's going to do it. You just have to face it, not like a man, but you got to face it like a man, which is funny for something we'll find out later on in the show. But of course, Aang being Aang, you know, he's kind of a delightful pacifist. He just finds he can't quite do this. And while that's going on in this plot, Sokka is on the hunt for some food, and he comes across a little saber-toothed moose lion cub, which, here's a picture of that. That's the cub, and here's the adult. Another great animal of this show. So in plot A, we have Aang trying and failing to learn earthbending, and Sokka is stuck in a hole while he's dealing basically with a little dog kitten thing. Then we cut to plot B, where Zuko is trying to trying to learn some more advanced techniques in firebending, because he knows he's inevitably going to have to face Azula again. And even Iroh basically says, that woman is crazy and she has to go down. So Zuko knows he's going to have to know more than just the limited techniques that he knows right now. And so Iroh tries to teach him how to create lightning, but unfortunately, due to the turmoil that's going on inside Zuko's mind and body right now, he just can't quite do it. And this ultimately leads to, you know how every episode I have a Sokka's quote of the day? Well, I'm going to introduce a one-time only contribution, which is...
And now Avatar The Last Airbender proudly presents the most emo thing Zuko has ever said.
Why can't I do it? Instead of lightning, it keeps exploding in my face. Like everything always does.
Yeah, that was certainly something, all right. So, there's that. Zuko finds he can't learn lightning yet, and ultimately in the show, he never actually does learn how to manipulate lightning. But what he does learn from Iroh is, rather than creating lightning, he learns how to redirect lightning. And we saw Iroh do this in the first episode of this season with another attack of Azula. And this leads to a really great scene with Zuko and Iroh, in which we learn a bit of the philosophy about the various elements and the nationalities they represent. So fire is the element of power, and the people of the Fire Nation are very determined and have the power to get what they want. Earth is the element of substance, where the people of the Earth Kingdom are vast, varied, and they can endure much. Air is the element of freedom, again, dealing with how the monks sort of detach themselves from worldly concerns to achieve a sense of freedom and enlightenment. And water is the element of change, where the people kind of, they bond together. It's the familial bonds of the water tribes that lead them through tribe and tribulation, if that's the words. I apologize. And through this, Iroh learned how to redirect lightning, which is the act of bringing the lightning through your fingertips, directing it down into your stomach, which is the source of chi. So it makes sense that the sea of chi, as the stomach is referred to, would hold the energy of lightning, and then back out your fingers. But you have to be careful to not let it pass through your heart by accident, because electricity and hearts tend to not always go hand in hand all that well. But of course, Zuko can't really learn this technique because, as Iroh said, I'm not just going to flat out shoot lightning at you, because that's insane. That's dumb. Why would I shoot lightning at you? Which leads to the second most emo thing Zuko has ever said, which is how the episode ends. But aside from that, what's going on, this is a good episode, not a great episode. And again, whenever I say it's not a great episode, I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just, this episode is okay. It's starting Aang's journey into being an earthbender. You get a little bit of philosophy, not only from the elements of earthbending, but also on Zuko and Iroh's side. And once again, leading more into Zuko's development with his internal turmoil and his quest to achieve inner peace. But he's not quite there yet. Other than that, there's not a ton going on in this episode. I will say, I'll just kind of give you this segment right now.
And now Avatar The Last Airbender Vlogs presents to you Sokka's Quote of the Day.
I'm ready.
Rock beats Airbender.
But other than that, there's not a ton to talk about in this episode. I guess the only thing that's really worth mentioning is it is just kind of a nice, easygoing episode, which is important because the next few episodes going into this season are going to be not only good, but they're going to be pretty harrowing. So I guess this episode's important just for kind of being a nice, light stopover. But other than that, it doesn't really leave a ton to talk about. It's just Aang's journey into earthbending, Zuko's journey into finding inner peace, and Iroh and Zuko are just continuing on with their journey. But with that said, I don't have a ton else to say about this, so I'll end it right there. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, onwards and upwards, my friends.
You've always thrown everything you could at me. Well, I can take it! And now I can give it back!